Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarapal, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. Learning to live after the shit has truly hit the fan is tough, but never impossible. It takes stepping into the you've always felt welling up inside you. It takes letting go of the stuff that pulls at you to stay under the covers for yet another week. It takes feeling your power and wanting to run with it. Your next guest believes that goals are never gone, they just change. And creating a life made up of days full of wonder, doing what you love most, and being the absolute most powerful you've ever seen is easier now than ever. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Morgan. Good morning.
What an introduction. Good morning, Sashka. Really pleased to be here this morning.
Me too. Hang five. So where are you in the world today, Kelly?
I am in delightful Devon in the southwest of the UK, where it's sunny and the English countryside is a calling.
Oh, is that where you live?
It's where I grew up. I live in Ibiza in Spain, but I grew up in Devon, so by the sea, fish and chips, rolling hills, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I love it. Kelly, tell me, why do you believe we can have it all? Shouldn't there be limitations to our wants and desires?
Well, limitations really comes from our lower mindset, and our conditioning in society makes us think that we have limitations because we're told from a young age, you can't do that, stop doing that, you've got to do this, you should. All those shoulda, woulda, coulda things basically instill in us a set of beliefs and a way of being. And in fact, if we strip ourselves down to our natural state, naturally we are unlimited beings. And we can really be, do and have whatever we want. So it's just remembering that.
So we can have it all, really.
We can, and it's down to a choice. And yes, I know that external circumstances, some of us are born with certain privileges and some of us aren't, but it really is about deciding what is right for you and going for it. And the biggest thing that comes down from it, if you talk from people like famous dancers or actors, it's really the biggest thing that they have is that self-belief, and that is the thing that can make the difference.
That is so true. Often when we want it all or we can have it all, it's maybe not what we want, but rather, not always, but often something that someone else wanted and you think, oh, well, I want that because it triggers something in you that's underlying, but it's not necessarily that you want. Getting a little bit philosophical now.
Yeah, but it's true, because the thing is that we start thinking, we define success according to what society says. And it's really interesting, this palliative nurse, so she was taking care of people in hospices on their way to death, basically, for 20 years. But she published a book a couple of years ago writing what are the regrets of people dying. And the number one regret is not having the courage to follow the path and the life that you want and following what other people want you to do instead. And that really points to it. Like, we think that something means success to us because we've been taught that. We think that something means success to us because we've been taught that. But in fact, when we get it, sometimes we're like, well, this isn't what I want. And it's because we're not taught from that early age to really ask ourselves, what is it that we would love?
That's true. It's kind of like the runaway bride. You don't know, do I like eggs, or do I like scrambled eggs, or do I like fried eggs? Finding all of that again.
Yeah, exactly. And just connecting with that and thinking, well, what feels right for me inside, that kind of more intuitive part of us? And that's where our truth lies, instead of all that shoulda, woulda, coulda stuff.
You wanted something really badly, a dog. Now tell us why getting a dog was so important to you and what it's done for you since getting that dog.
Well, I just really love nature and I love having that connection to nature. So being with nature, having fun. A dog is naturally just playful and just always kind of happy and content. And so I grew up with dogs. And then when I was living in London, you know, I was in a flat on a busy road, had a really busy job and just working really long hours. And again, I was going for that thing that I thought was success. Good job and being able to go on nice holidays and buy nice things. And it was then that I just felt, God, this isn't what I want. Like, is this it? Is this what success is? Is this life? Because it's really leaving me empty inside. And one thing I really wanted was a dog to connect me more to nature, to that playful part of me. And so when I did move away and when I got my dog, I mean, it just brought me so much joy, even the good times and the bad times. Taking Otto out for a walk every morning forced me to connect with nature. And it's really about connecting me to that deeper part of myself. And from that, I get inspiration, playfulness, and also cuddles.
Oh, I love the cuddles from a dog because they really give it to you unconditionally.
Yes, they do.
Just lick it like, I love you, I love you, I love you. So, why do you do what you do? What is your big why?
Well, I do what I do because I've been through all those transformations, that kind of journey of life. And we're always trying to get to the next goal, the next goal. But I really believe it's just about enjoying the journey and being okay with where you are right now. And I've discovered in going for different goals and different successes that actually it's about really being where you are now, being good with that. And then from that space, you can create anything. And I'm just in love with life, and I would just love to share that enthusiasm for life with anyone else.
I love this. I just had to stop there for a moment because I can just see you, because I see you, and just the passion that comes out of you and exudes from you for life. You have to go through that shadow side. So even though you were in a flat on a busy road and all the things you strive towards where you think it's success or what society tells you, it's not a bad thing. It's just you had to go through that in order to come out on the other side to make a choice and go, this isn't really what I want. Which brings me to my next question, which is, you're well known as a shake up to wake up coach, which I find is a brilliant name to be known by. What kind of shake-ups did you go through before waking up, and what was your big awakening?
Well, I think the biggest awakening for me it wasn't when I quit my London job and moved to Spain and set up the retreat company, although most people would say, wow, that's a big wake up. What happened after that was I bought a wellness centre and I was like, yes, I've gone for my dreams. I put all my money where my mouth is. I believe in myself. I believe in dreams. I believe it's possible. And I've set up the wellness centre and I was really like, wow, I've done it. And then 3 months later, I realised that the business we bought the accounts were not accurate because basically they'd not done the accounts properly. And so we were really facing bankruptcy.
Oh, God.
And I just fell into such a depression because I was like, what the hell? Sorry, I'm following my dreams. And I just really lost faith and lost trust in everything. I was really depressed. And then one day my friend was just like, well, what do you want? And I was like, what are you talking about? Shut up. I need to pay bills, get stuff sorted. Shut up. And actually that night I went home and I just thought, well, what do I want? I've literally got nothing now. I'm starting from zero. So what is it that I would really love? And then it was actually walking with Otto, the dog, in the morning and just thinking about, well, what is it I want? And just daydreaming. And then I started thinking, well, I'd love treats in an amazing centre with amazing facilities, really a place where people can reset their coordinates. And then I was on one of these walks, I saw the 5-star hotel down the bottom of the road and it had a rooftop pool, amazing spa. And I was like, wow, that would be a cool place to do it. And it was then I was like, well, why not? And it was then I really started to believe miracles happen. I just went into the hotel one day and just said, look, this is what I do. Are you interested? And they were like, yeah, you're just what we've been looking for.
Oh my God.
It was then we set up the most amazing retreat company. So it was my big awakening, because from nothing, when you was going to give up and my family were like, oh, you're cleaning floors in McDonald's, to, even better than what I had before. The wellness centre I had before was small, it was limited. This 5-star hotel had amazing, it was beyond what I thought was possible. And we were also in a really difficult contract with the old wellness centre. Like my lawyer was like, this is impossible to get out of. We were stuck in a contract to rent a place for 24 years and we got out of it. And it's just from, I really believe it's from just allowing myself to daydream because nothing was working, and just taking inspired action that made that dream become a reality.
God, that's inspiring. Because so often, I know of a lot of people as well, they're chasing after the money to make ends meet. Like you were saying, you're trying to make the ends meet, but you forget about what is it that I really want? What is that want that I really want? Ultimately, it's security and everything. But what really fuels us is following that instinct, following that intuition. And then the one thing leads to the next thing. That's really the fuel. The money is just a side effect of the transformation.
Yeah. And it's like intrinsic motivation. You're doing it because it's great, not because of a goal, not because of an outcome. It's like people that exercise and they do it because they just love exercising. The natural side effect of that is a great body and feeling healthy, but they're not doing the exercise because of that. And it's the same thing with your dream. If you're just doing it because it feels great and you love it, the natural side effect is success and financial success.
Yeah. Would you say that when you walked into the hotel and then running the retreat center, was that a dream or was that a want? Was that an inner want?
The inner want driving that was really what I love doing, is holding space for people to have their own transformations. Like, I believe we're all our own greatest coach. And so it's about providing that space and that time and that experience so people can get to their own transformations. So that can be in any format, right? It could be in a retreat, it could be coaching like I do now, it could be meditation. It's really about providing that energy and space. So that was what I really deep desire, my more than a want, like a love, like a almost tears of gratitude service I would love to do for the world underneath it. Yeah, and then the rest, it was just naturally came with that.
You are pretty confident, and you also provide 2 programs, Confidence Booster Retreat and Fuck or Fear. Now, these 2 things, confidence and fear, are huge. I mean, it's something that you personally have, I don't want to say overcome, but definitely taken the bull by the horns and like, I'm going to take control of this. I'm not going to let it control me. And I know for myself that finding confidence was a major revelation. I mean, it just sets things into a whole different perspective. How does someone, listeners, how do you become confident, and how do you do this without being fearful? But what guidance do you have for them?
Well, I would say the first thing that we're really seeking is confidence from within. So that deep confidence from within, that you've got this, rather than that confidence that we seek, well, I feel good when I get this, or when I get praise from someone, or when I've got the right job, the right accolade. And often what we do is try and get those external confidence boosters rather than that internal, I've got this. And really what that boils down to in my confidence booster program, it's really about self-love. That's it underneath. It's like, I love myself enough, be there for myself no matter what. And I'm okay with myself when we're dealing with shadow stuff. I'm okay if I feel jealous. I'm okay if I'm scared. I'm okay if I'm feeling good. It's really about, I'm okay with me no matter what, and I'm there for me no matter what. And I would say that to start with, it's just about listening to yourself. We often don't listen to ourselves, which comes back to our intuition. What is it we really want? We don't listen to ourselves. So if we can just start by being there for ourselves, that is a huge thing in terms of them being able to have that confidence from within. And then the fear kind of comes after that, because then once you feel confident in yourself and you feel, wow, yeah, I can do this, and I know I'm there for myself, then it goes into, well, what happens if I make a mistake? And then all that stuff comes up, all those past memories of when we've made mistakes before and things have gone wrong, and we're scared to make mistakes and we're scared that it's going to go wrong. So the fear is that reframing that fear and realizing, we could say, if you look at my example, the biggest mistake I ever did was buy that wellness center. I lost all my life savings. I lost hair. I was going into the beginning stages of alopecia. I was very stressful. But you know, when I look back now, that was the greatest blessing. The money I spent, the money I lost, was the biggest investment I ever made in my business. I would never learn those lessons I learned in any business school. Like the top business school in the world wouldn't teach me that. So I see that now really as an investment. And so it's really, the fuck off here is about reframing your fear, and then you're able to move forward.
What do you mean by reframing a fear?
Well, what I mean by that, if you're scared of something happening, often when we're going for something we want, your fear boils down to two things. And this comes from one of my mentors, John T. Martini, so full credit to him. But your fear is basically you're scared of not getting what you want, or you're scared of getting something that you don't want. So that's all it is, really, basically. And so if you look at what that fear is, often what we do is we run away from it and we're like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to happen. But we're putting it into our unconscious and we're squashing it and we're actually manifesting it unconsciously. So if you can look at that and think, God, what is the worst thing that could happen if I go for my dream?
Like, for example, sorry, Kelly, so use your example. So when you were in the situation where you, in the 3 months after you bought the retreat and you were in debt and everything, the fear that was there. So use that as an example.
Yeah, great. So the fear would have been, okay, I said it already, going home and having to wash the floors of McDonald's, right? So that's the fear. I'm going to lose everything, lose my house because I remortgaged the house to buy it, and I'm going to go and wash the floor of McDonald's. So when I know that that's the fear, when I've identified it, then I'm like, well, is that going to really happen? And then I start to realize that this fear is not true. It's just rubbish. Like, it's not good. That is not going to happen because I've got family to support me. I've actually got a great number of references and a career that I could go back to my banking job. And then even going to the extreme, well, even if that did happen, how bad would that really be? Is that really that bad? And then looking really at the benefits of that happening, what would happen to me if that did happen? There is never just negative in anything. There's always some positive. So what would be the positives of that? And then looking at the mistakes I made before. So now I can look at the mistake of buying the wellness center and looking at all the benefits that I got from that. So I really would recommend people start looking at the mistakes that they've made before, that they're scared to make again, and look at how those mistakes were really a blessing.
I love that. Absolutely love that. It reminds me of something. I was just actually speaking to my daughter last night because I have on my arm tattooed really big thoughts become things. And my daughter's going through a bit of a thing at the moment. And I said to her, do you know what this means? And she was like, yes, but it's not true. And I'm going, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, if I think I'm going to have an apple tomorrow, I know it's not going to happen. So then I tried to explain to her. I said to her, which was great because she understood it afterwards. I was like, yay, score points for mommy. And I said to her, so the thought that you're having is you'd like to have an apple tomorrow. So that's a wish. But your thought is actually the negative one. Oh, it's not going to happen. So where's all your energy going over there? To the good thing or the bad thing? And my daughter's like, to the bad thing. And I'm going, So that ties in well about that positive and negative and reframing from fear, because she's fearing what the worst thing could possibly be as well. If I don't get that apple, it was a really odd example that she gave as well. I'm like, why are you talking about an apple tomorrow morning? Don't I feed you? Really, and I'm like, okay. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the word goal, only because it insinuates for me an end to something. So I prefer milestones, but I would love to hear your take on goals in general. Like, why do so many set them and never or hardly achieve them? And where's the glitch there?
Yeah, I'm totally with you on goals, because if we just are really goal orientated, then we're always in the future and we're never really happy with what we've got now. So then we're never actually, if you really think about that, we're never happy because we're always focusing on what we don't have instead of what we do have. And so that is the reason why we don't have goals. And interestingly, I wrote a blog on this last week, like, why do goals create low energy in people? And often what happens is people set a goal and they're really excited about it originally, and then when they start to realize that goal isn't happening for them now, then they start to get depressed with life, in an extreme example, but they get despondent, unmotivated, because they start seeing what hasn't happened for them and what they're missing, and then you start to focus on lack. You haven't got that goal, and you're constantly, if you think about what you said, thoughts become things, you're constantly thinking, I haven't got that, I haven't got that, I haven't got that. So I set intentions and what I would love to have in my life, like the stuff now that I don't have that I would love to have, and that's okay, but I'm not attached to that. I'm enjoying what's happening now. And it's really about aligning your mindset with what that is. So being in the vibe of, I've got that apple now, and what would it feel like to have that apple now?
I love that. Love that. Is there a movie that inspires you, and why?
Oh, yes. And I think I've shared this with you already, Dashka. This is the movie I tell everyone to watch. And every time I watch it, I cry. I mean, I cry now even before the big scenes are coming because I know what's coming. It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's 1930s film. And it's a Christmas movie, but it can really be watched any time of year. And it's about a guy who becomes despondent with life and starts to think that his life is worthless and there's no point in him being around. And then he starts to believe that actually maybe it's better that he's not around. And so an angel comes down from heaven, and this angel wants to get his wings. But to earn his wings, he's got to prove to this guy that his life is worth living. And so he shows him what the world would be like without him. And I feel emotional now. He shows him, and the man is so touched because he realizes the kind of, the butterfly effect, where a butterfly flapping its wings has this huge effect on the universe. He sees that, and he's just really on his knees in gratitude for life and for his life and for what he's brought to the world. So I love that movie for that reason.
What are you grateful for?
Well, so much. I do a gratitude journey of every night. And actually, one thing I do, which I would love to share with everyone, is I do this with a friend. So sharing is caring. And what we do is we have a WhatsApp group, and we just text each other each night what we're grateful for that day. And what that is so nice is, obviously you're making sure you do your list and you're really thinking about it, but also you're seeing someone else's list, which is so touching, and it creates so much connection and love between me and my friend. So that's a kind of an extra thing to do for gratitude list. But so just generally, it's the silly things in life, like sunny day, walking my dog, the health of my family, putting on a nice dress and makeup, eating something great, having lovely clients that are really making amazing transformations, having a chat with you today. It's just everything, really.
I love that idea. I'm so starting that. Because we're on, there's so many groups that with the kids and everything and all their sports stuff. And I do lose contact with my best friends, which does upset me sometimes because my focus is always somewhere else. But that is amazing. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah, you could do it in a group. You've got your best friends, 3 or 4 friends, and seeing her list every day, honestly, it just even brings tears to my eyes sometimes of the things that she's grateful for. And, then we'll comment on each other's grateful list, and it's really a nice thing.
I love that. What does your future look like? What is it that you planning or putting into motion, wanting to put into motion?
So personally and professionally?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right now I'm in Devon. My father's not been very well. So the operation at home has been family helping him on the road to recovery, which we're doing, that's great. So I've had loads of nice family time and catch-ups in making the most of being in Devon because it's gorgeous here. So from this, I'm actually going to America in June, and I'm doing another course with Dr. Demartini.
Oh, wow.
So I'm super excited about that. It's 10 days on imperience, which is how the single organism cell is linked to the multi-universe. So I think it's going to be pretty profound. And then I'm back in Spain, and so continuing to serve clients. I am going to be doing a group program after summer, which will be my first group program, because so far I've worked with clients on a one-on-one or self-study basis. So I'm really excited to get that group energy and dynamic going. And a bit like the gratitude list on WhatsApp I just mentioned, it'll be that sort of energy, creating that real connection, love, really, where we support each other to transform our lives and to enjoy the journey of life.
I love that. Pretty much being what I started off with, having it all, no limitations and following your desires. What does it mean for you to be limitless?
Wow, what a question. For me, being limitless it's having that feeling of freedom, and almost, I really like the word liberation. And it's just that freedom and liberation just to be how you are right now, and to be really good with that, and not to be even striving for anything, not to be wanting everything, just that deep knowing that everything's good right now, and anything that you want is there already. It's really there already in a different form, and it might come in the form that you really desire, but it is there already. And that's liberation, like knowing that you're already whole and that you have everything already.
Goosebumps. I love that. It's a nice little tweetable there as well. Nice mantra. So we're coming to the end, unfortunately, and I ask all my guests at the end 2 questions. And the first one is, how do you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
Well, I would love to enable people to make the transformations that they really want to make, and connect them more to that deeper part of themselves where they feel limitless, where they feel that anything is possible, because it is.
It is. It is. I'd like your take by filling in the blanks on 3 of my core values. Passion for you is?
Waking up in the morning and jumping out of bed and just can't wait to start the day.
Oh, that's so cool. Creativity for you is?
Enjoying flow that comes from deep inside of you. You've got this unique voice, and however you express it, whether it's talking, drawing, writing, dancing, singing, is expressed.
Wisdom for you is?
All inside of you already. You just need to connect to it.
There's a key word, connect to it. Oh, I love that. Kelly, I want to thank you for being here with us today and sharing your awesomeness and your wonderful life with us, and being a blessing, and just showing us that we aren't limited and we can have it all, and that nothing is impossible. I want to honor you for following your dream, or not just your dream, your desires, and for sticking to it and to carry on with it and inspiring and motivating those around you.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been so much fun to chat with you. Really,
Yay.
really fun. And I will see you and speak to you soon, no doubt.
Yes, and you can find out more about Kelly in the show notes, in her website, her social media handles, her favorite book, her favorite quote, and she's even got a special offer for you. So you can check that out. Thank you so much, Kelly. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
You too. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.